1646 or whatever.
On Monday, yes.
On Monday. Got it.
You know, I don't understand why Robert, hopefully you're watching.
Pardon?
Not you, Your Honor. First, let me state my name, Regina Agnew.
Thank you. I was going to ask, but you seem like you.
No, I'm really under a lot of distress. My asthma, it's just really been bad. I've been off work on a medical leave, and I explained it to him. I even explained that I was hospitalized, and I'm doing the best that I can.
Right.
I'm waiting on medical payments. And when I spoke with him on Monday, before making the payment, I said that you had stated in my Zoom last week that to see if I can work something out with
Right.
people at the office manager. Excuse me. So
just take your time. Okay.
So I said that to him. So because we're in September now, so September is due, obviously. And so he told me to, well, that's something that our attorney would do. I said, well, so then I told him that I'll come in the office because I had a follow-up appointment from being hospitalized with my primary doctor on Tuesday, but I didn't make it in the office to see him. I'm trying to get myself together because I miss making the money that I make, So I didn't make it into the office to have a conversation with him. And he's not so easy to have a conversation with because I can say to him, like you recall me a couple months ago in here, I said, I can pay, this and that amount. And he'll say things like, well, who else do you have to pay? That's none of his business, and I already feel like I told him he stresses me out. Communication is everything. And when I try to have a conversation with him, he likes to really kind of, well, the owner said that they're not going to renew your lease. Well, the owners act like I live in the Hamptons, with the old vintage closet doors and bulky paint on the wall. So since they bringing me to court, because I felt like he really didn't have to bring me to court because of course, yes, I need a roof over my head. I'm going to make the payments. I'm not a freeloader. I like nice things in life, but the way that apartment look, no. That does not equate with what I like. And here it is. I'm here again. Why can't he just work with me? And they already half do this and do that. I'm at the point where I feel like I already spoke with my benefits rep, UAW Legal Services, where I need to get me an attorney. That's something I have to come out of my pocket. So I will. That's just something grandkids won't get for a little minute, It's all right. But the way he says to me, we pay $1,000 to take you to court. Well, don't take me to court.
All right.
I pay my court costs. And I'm saying all of this, Your Honor, to say the moral of it all is he is not easy to work with. And I need my reserve oxygen, seeing that he's not, being accepted and grateful for it.
So let me ask this. 1505, when do you think you can get that?
The 26th. I told him that I can make that payment.
Okay.
It could be paid by the 26th. And that's when he said, well, I don't know. It depends on what my attorney says.
Well, doesn't matter right now what they said because I'm adjourned. Can you get it paid early in the day?
On the 26th, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to adjourn this case out to the 26th because I'm going to have the final say. That'll be at 3 o'clock.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you being a fair judge. You're stern, but you're fair.
Stern?
Yes.
Is that a bad thing?
Oh, yeah. Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Alan told me to be that way because I wasn't that way before.
Seeing that I have to be on your docket, I prefer to be on this docket than a criminal docket,
That's probably true. All right. So get the balance paid by then. Okay. And if you have everything paid prior to that point and you're sure you got everything paid, you don't need to appear.
Okay, good, because I'm released to return to work in another week. So
okay. All right. So let's see if we can get that done, get it worked out, and then they'll just dismiss it if you get it.
Okay, thank you.
You have a
Thank
blessed
you.
weekend.
God bless you. You have
As this emotional hearing comes to a close, let's break down exactly what unfolded here. Because beneath the surface of a simple rent dispute, we're seeing a far deeper struggle between health, hardship, and housing stability. The tenant walked into this courtroom carrying more than just a past due balance. She came in with medical complications, the stress of being hospitalized, a temporary loss of income, and the pressure of trying to stay afloat while her body quite literally fights against her. When she mentions her asthma flare-ups and the fact that she's been on medical leave, it becomes immediately clear that this is not someone trying to dodge responsibility, someone trying to survive. Throughout the hearing, we get a clear glimpse of her frustration. She's been attempting to communicate, to arrange payment, to work something out so that she can keep her home. But every interaction she describes with the office manager paints a picture of someone who is rigid, dismissive, and unwilling to engage with her situation on even a basic human level. Asking her, "Who else do you have to pay?" or stressing her out instead of collaborating. These are signs of a landlord who is focused solely on the ledger, not the person. And that's where we see one of the biggest emotional points of this case. She isn't just fighting overdue rent. She's fighting for dignity in the process. Legally speaking, the judge plays this exactly by the book. The court acknowledges the outstanding balance, $1,505, and makes sure that information is confirmed. But instead of leaning into punishment or rushing toward eviction, the judge does something that immediately shifts the tone. She asks a direct and reasonable question: when can you pay it? And when the tenant confidently states she can have it paid by the 26th, the judge makes a critical decision that ultimately protects the tenant's ability to remain housed. She adjourns the case, she gives the tenant the time, and most importantly, she asserts her authority by saying, "I'm going to have the final say." This is a judge reminding everyone, including the landlord's attorney, that the courtroom is governed by fairness, not intimidation. The tenant even expresses her gratitude, calling the judge stern but fair. And that statement actually says a lot. Judges carry enormous responsibility, and in landlord-tenant court especially, compassion must be balanced with law. What we see here is a judge who understands the real-world impact of her decisions and chooses balance over bluntness. Another key detail is the judge's instruction. If the tenant pays the balance before the next hearing, she won't even need to return. That is a major opportunity, and it means that if she follows through, this case can be dismissed and she can move forward without an eviction. Judgment staining her record. For viewers watching this scene, there's also an important takeaway. Communication matters. Documentation matters, and knowing your rights matters. When the tenant says she consulted UAW Legal Services, that shows she's taking steps to protect herself. And the judge's reaction shows that courts often appreciate when tenants demonstrate effort, responsibility, and transparency. Now, as the case ends and both parties exit, we're left with a moment that feels both tense and hopeful. The tenant has been given one more chance, and the judge has provided a fair path toward resolution. Whether this ends in stability or another clash depends on what happens next. But one thing is certain: this case highlights the human side of housing court, where medical struggles, financial setbacks, and miscommunication can collide all at once. And it reminds us that sometimes the courtroom is not just a place of punishment, but a place where fairness can actually prevail. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.